I told you so. Quite frankly, most of you watching the show also told everybody so. Fauci is a self-serving bureaucrat who played the game for glory, I guess. I have no idea why he does all this stuff. I mean, I cannot, well, actually, you know what? I can believe it. It looks right now, it looks like this dude knew. He knew from almost day one that the virus probably came from a lab in Wuhan, China. He knew that while he was at the NIH, that they were directing funding to an entity that funded this lab. And it looks like he lied to Congress about the gain of function research that he denied knowing anything about when Rand Paul pressed him on this just a few weeks ago.
We have not funded gain of function research on this virus in the Wuhan Institute of Virology, no matter how many times you say it,
there was research.
We now know that Fauci's own emails seem to contradict his testimony. Oh, but check out this gem from the Wall Street Journal. From 2014 to 2019, the National Institutes of Health sent $3.4 million of your dollars to the Wuhan Institute of Virology through the nonprofit EcoHealth Alliance. It goes on to say that the NIH money was spent on researching bat coronaviruses, and it's likely that the WIV conducted gain-of-function research to make them more deadly and infectious. It seems to me he knew it. And we'll find out soon enough if he lied right to our faces, which I think he did. Or worse, he was willfully ignorant and gave the money to China and didn't even bother to check what they were doing with it or if they were doing what they said they were doing. Giving carte blanche money to China is like giving your 2-year-old a pile of candy, telling him not to eat it, and then leaving them in their room alone with it. What do you think would happen there? By the way, it looks like Trump was right this whole time. Just saying.
Investigation into whether the virus escaped from this lab in Wuhan, how active is that, and when do you expect
we're looking at it. A lot of people are looking at it. It seems to make sense. There is a lot of investigation going on, and we're going to find out.
Well, here's Fauci at the same press conference just 18 minutes later when he was asked about it.
Group of highly qualified evolutionary virologists looked at the sequences there and the sequences in bats as they evolve, and the mutations that it took to get to the point where it is now is totally consistent with a jump of a species from an animal to a human.
But 2.5 weeks later, he said this to National Geographic. The scientific evidence is very, very strongly supporting that this was artificially or deliberately manipulated. Everything strongly indicates that this virus evolved in nature and then jumped species. Okay. We want the evidence. We want that evidence. Where is it? Nobody's shown us that. And then somehow we had a come to Jesus moment just 1 month ago. Fauci said this to PolitiFact on May 11th of this year.
No, I'm not convinced about that. I think that we should continue to investigate what went on in China. And the people who've investigated say it likely was the emergence from an animal reservoir that then infected individuals, but it could have been something else.
I'm sorry. You know what? Actually, I'm not sorry. I'm so angry about this. And you should be too, quite frankly. They used this virus to control us by instilling fear. That's what they did. Remember in late February when Nancy Pelosi stood in a crowded Chinese market in San Francisco and said, hey, you have nothing to fear. Come on down. Oh, by the way, if you're worried about where this virus came from, you're racist. But in January, a month before that, they had all the experts telling them that this was suspicious and appeared to be engineered in nature. Now, she is the third most powerful person in the world. She had all the information. Trust me, they had it. So what changed? They realized they could gain power with it. That's all. That's the only variable that changed here. It begs the question, what else did Fauci and his team know or have doubts about and didn't tell us? Well, I tell you, thanks to the recent Freedom of Information dump, masks. He flip-flopped on this a bunch. And just like I've been saying for, like a year now, all these store-bought masks, these homemade masks, these face shields and cloth things, they don't work. It's like putting up a chain-link fence to keep out mosquitoes. If you don't believe me, Fauci said it himself in one of his leaked emails. And that's just what's in the unredacted stuff that we have. Now, Fauci's job was never to craft policy. But somewhere along the line, he became this de facto architect of all things COVID. His only job, one job, was to inform the administration what the scientific reality was. That's it. To tell the truth, folks. That's all he had to do. What is evident from these emails is that it appears he didn't do any of that. He told us one thing and then privately discussed something totally different. He clearly had his own agenda. I don't know why. Look, I think the two things we can take away from this whole thing is, one, the government takes your money and lights it on fire and flushes the ashes down the toilet. Or worse, they give it to China so they can research bat flu. And two, they and their media propaganda arm almost always lie to you. Almost always. It's pretty evident about everything. Guys, this type of nonsense doesn't sit well with Americans. And I always like to remind my viewers on this show that those who practice tyranny, listen, because America did in fact start a revolution over a 2.5% tax hike in a breakfast beverage. Keep that in mind.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.